Hello, my name is Dylan, and today I will be showing you how to combine radicals. First, we're going to start with this. This is a radical, or the square root. You have your number up here, which is your index, and you have here, which is your radicand, which is always under the radical. Now, if there's nothing, a regular square root, it's always a 2. It's just like that. Don't ask. Alright, now we see our problem here. 2 times the square root of 75 minus 3 times the square root of 48. You cannot subtract these as of right now because the radicands are not the same. To subtract them, we must get the radicands the same. And we can do that by tree method, factoring. Alright. Basically what you can do, what two numbers multiply together they equal 75. For this instance, I'm going to use 25 and 3. This 25 can also factor down to 5 times 5. Alright, now this is a square root, so in order to get a number on the outside of the square root, you're going to have to bring 2 of the same outside. And since we have 2 5s, I can bring those outside the square root. So I have 2 times 5 times the square root of 3. And I'm going to do this one. Alright, what two numbers multiply to get you 48? Let's use 12 and 4. Now 12 can factor down to 6 times 2. And your 4 can factor down to 2 times 2. 6 can factor down more, 3 times 2. Alright. Now you have to have, since you have to have 2 of something to pull out, we have 2 2's, 2 2's, then you have this 3 by itself. So, this is going to be 3 times 2 times 2 times the square root of your lonely 3. And now that you have this set up, you can multiply together. So you have 10 times the square root of 3 minus 3 times 2 is 6, times 2 is 12, 12 times the square root of 3. Now that the radicands are the same, it is now basically 10 minus 12, which is negative 2 over the square root of 3. There you are. Let's try one that seems a bit more difficult. Now, the letters and everything may confuse you, but it is actually quite simple. We're going to do the same thing as we did last time. We use the tree method to factor x squared down. How do you get x squared? Simple. X times x. Right. And how do you get 4? 2 times 2. And since you need 2 of something to bring out of the radical, you can bring out 1x and 1 2. So you have 2 and x. Now let's do this one. Same here. How do you get x squared? X times x. And how would you get, what two numbers can you multiply together to equal 9? 3 times 3. You need 2 of something you can bring out of the radical, which means you can bring out 1x and 1 3. So 3 and x. Now simplify this. You get 2x plus 3x, in which 2x plus 3x equals 5x. There you are. All this mess up here can jumble to this nice, simple answer. Alright, now we're going to work on rationalizing the denominator. We're going to solve this problem. And the first one of the main things you should know, you cannot have a square root, a radical in the denominator. So, to get rid of that, we're going to have to multiply by the opposite of this. So we can get this to cancel out later on. So, to cancel this out, you can't just multiply the bottom by this, the opposite of this. You're going to have to multiply the bottom and top, numerator and denominator. So, we're going to have times 4 minus square root of 6, 4 minus square root of 6. And this will equal 7 times 4 square root of 6 for the numerator. And down here, you get the quantity of 4 plus square root of 6 times the quantity of 4 minus the square root of 6. Now, if you do the multiplication, you will end up with, come down here, 28. You're going to distribute the 7 in here, which is going to have to go to this one as well as this one. 28 minus 7 to the square root of 6 over. You're going to use FOIL to do this one. First, outer, inner, and last, which is here. The first two numbers, the outer two numbers, the inner two numbers, and then the last numbers. So, 4 times 4 is 16. Now we have 4 times negative square root of 6 equals negative 4 times square root of 6. Now we have here square root of 6 times 4 equals plus 4 square root of 6. And now you come to our last two, which is square root of 6 times negative square root of 6. And your answer shall be negative 6. Now, right here, you have a negative 4 square root of 6, and you have a positive 4 square root of 6. Those can cancel out. So you're left with 16 and negative 6 in your denominator, which simplifies to 10. Since this is already in its simplest form, you're just going to bring this over. 28 minus 7 square root of 6. And there you are, your answer.